right, so, Mo, you found somebody's kid in London?
In London, and to be completely honest, it was an accident.
You saved a life.
Yeah, but I'm like a fake hero of sorts because I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and I think I was getting a little bit of kudos that I didn't really deserve.
No, that's how all heroes. You got to be in the right place at the right time to be a hero.
And don't ever let the truth get in the way of a good story.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, I saved a family.
Yes.
In London.
Yeah, you did.
That is what happened. So I just landed at the airport, and I was breaking off from our groups. We were going separate ways. So I literally just sat down for a second to try to figure out how much time I had and if I was going to go get something to eat and figure out where I wanted to go in the airport. So the place that I decided to sit is me and someone else, and we're just sitting there, and I happened to be sitting like right by, I guess what you would call like the authority center where like security would be and people come for information. And so a woman is like frantic, and that's what kind of got my attention. And I hear her saying, I need help. I've lost my son. I'm trying to find my son. And so now I'm kind of trying to listen to what's going on. And then the dad comes up, and the dad is mad at the mom. And I guess as I can put the story together, the son walked off to try to find dad. And in doing so, the son just walked off. And mom didn't realize it until it was too late. And so now the son is just wandering in the airport. And at this point, they have no idea where he's gone.
So you got a little Home Alone thing going on, but it's right there at the airport.
Exactly that. So there's two ways you can go. Once you're sitting at it, you can go left or you can go right. And they came from the right, and no one went to the left, which to me, it would have made sense to have somebody go in both directions. But I guess dad panicked, went right. Mom panicked and did the same thing. Eventually, mom came back. She saw the security and she asked for help.
And you know that look as somebody from the outside looking in. You know that look of a panicked parent and that hustle. Immediately, you know what the situation is. Like, they lost a kid. They don't need to say anything. You can see it.
And are they yelling anything particular? Because I've heard you're not supposed to yell the child's name because then it could give an abductor a leg up on the situation. So you're just supposed to yell like what they look like as far as like blonde hair, blue shirt, jeans, tennis shoes, blonde hair, blue shirt, jeans, tennis shoes, help me find something like that.
Because then the whole crowd is also, everyone who's hearing that is looking for that description.
So, well, the mom was kind of arguing with security because security wanted her to stay there. And then they were going to like make announcements and then send people out. And they're like, we have to know where you are in case someone finds the child so that we know where to bring the child. But she didn't want to do that. She wanted to go look herself. So there was like a debate on that. And dad is like, I'm going to look. So he goes that way. I immediately say a prayer for everybody. And I'm like, this is crazy. But then I go the other way because that's the way I had to go anyway. So I go, and then I hit a corner. And then as I go around the corner, I see a place where we can eat, which is like right by my gate. And it's like chairs, but there are chairs on the inside of the place, and there are also chairs on the outside of the place. I see a kid sitting by himself, literally, on the chairs outside of the place. But in my mind, I'm like, that can't be him. Because this kid is not frantic at all. Like, he's completely relaxing. He's just sitting there as if he's waiting for someone. So then I'm like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, what do I do? Because what if it is the kid? Do I say something, right? So my friend is like, why don't you just ask? I'm like, I can't do that. And he's like, well, why can't you? And I'm like, well, because I'm afraid that if it is him, and then I say, well, you know, your mom is this way, like, what am I supposed to do then? Because if I walk with him and like they see me with him, I don't want to be like, to be honest, I don't want to be a black guy in London with a kid that they think has been kidnapped. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, and then he's like, you're really thinking that? And I'm like, yes, like I have to think about these things. So then at first he's like, well, I'll do it. But then he starts thinking about it, and he doesn't want to do it either. So
that's what you need, a white woman.
Yes, that's exactly what we needed.
We need a Karen. Where's Karen?
I wanted to ask someone like, hey, can you do this? So then I'm like, Mo, you can't be a coward, man. You got to ask, right? So I'm like, I'm asking because I heard them say his name. So I knew his name. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
So I went up to him. I said, hey, buddy, is this your name? And he said, yes. I said, you know where your mom is? He says, no, I'm looking for her. This kid is so calm, though, to the point where I'm like, this can't be real. So I said, well, your mom is that way. Like, walk that way. And he goes, my dude goes, bro, you can't just tell the kid to walk that way. I said, why not? He walked this way. Why can't he walk back? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take you to your mom, man. Just come with me this way. And it felt so, I don't know why it felt so awkward. I knew I was doing the right thing, but something about it just felt wrong. So he goes, okay. And I'm like, this feels wrong because you're not supposed to say yes to go with a stranger. Right? But I'm like, all right, so as soon as he gets up and I look to start walking, I see mom and the guy with the authority that she was talking to. And I like wave at them to kind of go like, no, I'm helping. I'm trying to help. And then,
Did you immediately hit the ground?
no. And then she didn't even care about me. She just runs up, she grabs the kid, she hugs, and then why would you do that? And they have the whole mom and son interaction. And then the guy, the authority guy was like, where was he? I was like, he was sitting right here. I saw you guys talking about it. I tried to help. So he shook my hand. Mom gave me a hug. She says, thank you. And then I guess I'm like a hero. I don't know if they're going to put my picture up in the airport. But behind the scenes, I was not brave. I was not brave at all.
As somebody that's lost their kid, you saw the best side of that interaction because once the parents calm down and the adrenaline comes down, they chewed that kid's ass hard.
I bet. I got out of there before I could see that part.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched? Well, you can get way more of The Bert Show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.